Hi, BZ. Come here. Come on. Oh, 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 oh. You ready? 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 Hey everybody, Backpacker Luke here, and today we're going to be doing a review on the Amazon backpacking tent, single person, which is like a camp all single person backpacking tent, and it's just like a generic brand Amazon tent, but we're going to be doing a review on it today to just sort of take a look at it and see the durability of the tent, the features that are inside of it or about the tent, all that kind of stuff, how easy it was to set up, and all of those things. So we're going to get into all that today. All right, let's do it. A couple of specs about the tent that I'm just going to give you at the front end here. The tent is 4 pounds 3 ounces as a single person backpacking tent. It's quite a bit heavier than sort of competitors that you might find. It's also a lot more expensive, but it's definitely heavier than like a Mountain Hardwear single person tent or Granite Gear or something like that. So the 4 pounds 3 ounces compared to a Mountain Hardwear or Granite Gear one person tent for backpacking, where they would be like 2 pounds. This is 4 pounds and 3 ounces. And also, I will say that this is $87 on Amazon currently as of the posting of this video. But the like a Granite Gear or Mountain Hardwear or something like that is much lighter, but those are also going to be like $200, $300, that sort of thing. So you have like 4 pounds 3 ounces and $87 versus about 2 pounds roughly and $200 or $300. So that is sort of one of the trade-offs you're going to see at the beginning here. Is definitely cheaper, but definitely a lot heavier. The next thing I'll say is the carrying case that you get for this tent has sort of an odd feature on it at the front end, which is the sort of the theme of this entire tent is they put things in here for your convenience, but also make it more inconvenient because they add weight to the bag. Oh my gosh, they add weight to the tent when they're doing these things. So the packed weight is 4 pounds 3 ounces, but part of that is because they sewed in a handle and compression straps for the tent, which you don't actually need any of that, but they sewed them into the bag, so you have to have them unless you want to rip the stitching on the bag to take it off. So they added some of these features that are so pointless, but they look cool and convenient and easy to use, but they are not. So that's the feature number one that I just wanted to kind of point out right away. And you'll see sort of the size of it in my thumbnail on the video, but yeah, so that's feature number one to just be aware of. So we're looking at the back side of the tent right now, and another feature I just wanted to point out is I didn't actually even use every stake they gave me. So this is not a freestanding tent. This is a supported standing tent. So it's not freestanding. You can't just set it up with the tent pole and be good to go. But you have to use stakes for everything. So this has a rainfly on it, obviously. It does not come with the ground cover, but it does come with the tent, the stakes, the pole, and the rainfly. But you have to stake it down everywhere. So I think I had to use 6 stakes just to get this thing standing. So that is another feature for you to just consider when you're looking at this tent. We're going to look at the inside of the tent in just a second, but another feature I wanted to point out is, like I said, there's a ton of stakes that you have to use to keep this tent going. And part of it is that you have to have a stake to hold the tent fly. And then you also have to have a stake to hold the vestibule on each side. So you have 2 stakes right next to each other that you're technically supposed to be using kind of on their own. Now you don't have to, but it is technically how you're supposed to be using it. And the other thing is I've opened and closed this vestibule a number of times now, and the Velcro is trying to be so heavy duty and durable for you that you actually kind of have to use 2 hands to open up the vestibule, which means that if you're carrying anything or whatever, you can't use one hand to open the vestibule very well. The other thing is, when I was unzipping and rezipping this fly a number of times, the zipper kept getting stuck. So not a super high quality zipper. Not waterproofed zippers themselves. The seams are waterproof, but the zippers themselves are not. So you have seam seal, which is great. If they didn't seam seal the zippers, I'd be really mad about that. It's such an easy thing to do nowadays, but they did thankfully seam seal the seals. Oh my gosh, the seams. So, all right, let's open it up. So opened up with the vestibule. I will say one of the features that they did for this tent that I'm not mad about is the vestibule actually gives you a lot of square footage, kind of that keeps it waterproofed or kind of protected from the elements. So you can put your backpack and gear here, put your shoes here, and they are actually pretty well protected from the elements. So nice big vestibule for you. So I will give them that. Another feature here, not feature, but another thing is, like I said on the outside one, but zipping and unzipping these guys is I've gotten stuck a number of times while trying to zip and unzip this opening here. So the zippers are not super high quality. They are just what they need to be to technically be zippers. But once you open it up, you have a nice opening here. It does give you a lot of air and kind of space to breathe if that's something you're looking for. Really big entrance to get in and out of the tent. And sometimes tent entrances can be really inconvenient to get in and out of, and this one is not that. So a feature that is kind of nice about this tent for $87 is you get a nice big opening, but it is a single opening, not a double opening. So looking inside the tent here, you're going to see how much space they give you. So it is a single person tent, and they give you a lot of extra space on the side here. Not enough for 2 people. So I use sleeping pads to sort of mark how many people could actually fit in a tent normally. So this is a backpacking pad. And you can see it's up against the side there. So you have quite a bit of space, but not enough for 2 pads. So you definitely not a 2-person tent. I know it is a single person, but sometimes you can kind of fit 2 people in a 1 person. This is not that case, so you cannot do that. They give you a lot of extra room at the foot or the head, whichever one you want to do. You can store some gear in here as well. I will say that they give you enough space to put like gear in here as well if you want to. And they have 1 pouch at the end there and 1 pouch at the end there. And then they have a little loop right here at the top. So you could hang a lantern or something like that if you wanted to. But you basically have a pouch for storage at the head and a pouch for storage at the bottom, and that's it. It is a square-shaped tent tub here. So the tub is from the bottom up to where the gray matches goes up against the orange. That's kind of what you would call the tub of a tent. So the tub is not mummy-shaped or anything like that. It's not triangle-shaped. It's just a rectangle. So there's no head or foot of this tent. It's basically just whichever way you want to go. So the next thing I'm going to do is actually take off this rain fly for you and show you what it looks like when I'm inside the tent, because I want to show you what kind of headspace you get inside this tent when you are sitting in it and see how comfortable it is while you're sitting in the tent. So that's what we're going to do next. Take off the rain fly, and I'm going to show you what it looks like inside, to sit inside. All right, I'm going to get in here and show you how much space or headroom you have when you are actually sitting in the tent. And it is not a lot. Yeah, so you can't really sit up. I'm 5'10", and that's what you got. So you're not really sitting up inside the tent too much. Definitely don't think that you are going to be able to relax in here. If it's raining outside or something like that, it's not a super comfortable tent to just kind of chill in. And it's definitely kind of coming in at a triangle here. And that's basically because of how the tent pole is. Is it just one single pole? Ugh. So having just the one single pole that runs along the ridge here it gives it a very narrow top. So your headspace is not really there. Hopefully that gives you a nice little review of this backpacking tent from Campbell. I'm going to put the link down below so you can see it for yourself on Amazon, all that kind of stuff. But there's the Campbell tent. All right.